The accelerating deployment of IRIS-T SLM across Scandinavia reflects a deeper transformation in the Nordic security environment, one driven by the rapid integration of Finland and Sweden into the North Atlantic Treaty Organization and the convergence of Baltic and Arctic security dynamics. As the northern flank of the alliance becomes a single strategic space stretching from the Gulf of Bothnia to the Norwegian Sea, the demand for a cohesive, resilient, and scalable medium-range air defense layer has grown sharply. The IRIS-T SLM has become the preferred answer, not because it is the most expensive or the most high-profile system, but because it represents a balanced, industrially sustainable solution tailored to the threat environment that Scandinavian states now face. The system is based on the extended-range variant of the IRIS-T missile, supported by the TRML-4D active electronically scanned array radar and a modular launcher architecture that allows rapid integration into different national configurations. With a range of around 40 kilometers and engagement altitude of up to 20 kilometers, the missile covers a critical gap between short-range systems such as MANPADS or NASAMS and the high-tier Patriot batteries already deployed in Poland and Germany. The TRML-4D radar, operating in the S-band, can track hundreds of targets simultaneously, including cruise missiles, unmanned aerial vehicles, rotary-wing aircraft, and fixed-wing platforms. For Scandinavia, which demands reliable operation in harsh weather, extreme cold, and environments with radar clutter from sea, snow, and terrain, the system's robustness and reliability have become major selling points. The strategic logic behind Northern Europe's push for a medium-range air shield is anchored in three converging trends. The first is the evolution of Russian strike capabilities. Moscow's continued production of Kalibr and Kh-101 cruise missiles, alongside improved variants of Shahed-type drones, presents a persistent challenge for northern states whose critical infrastructure, energy facilities, and military bases are well within potential strike envelopes. Kaliningrad remains a focal point, hosting the Iskander missile system and multiple layers of air defense that create a localized anti-access bubble. For Finland and Sweden, both newly integrated into the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, the capacity to disrupt and counter this bubble is a strategic necessity. The second driver is the shift in NATO doctrine itself. The alliance has moved away from a reactive counter-attack after penetration model towards a posture of persistent denial. This means that critical regions like the Baltic must be protected by overlapping, multi-layered defenses capable of neutralizing threats before they shape the battle space. Medium-range systems like IRIS-T SLM are the building blocks of this new posture, complementing Patriot batteries and creating a more resilient grid. Once Sweden and Finland complete full interoperability with NATO air defense command and control systems, the region will gain a level of integrated situational awareness that was impossible before. The third factor is the set of lessons emerging from Ukraine. Scandinavian defense planners have been explicit. The air war in Ukraine has demonstrated that inexpensive drones, loitering munitions, and mass volleys of cruise missiles can severely strain even robust air defense networks. The largest vulnerability observed in Ukraine has been the medium layer, where too few systems are available to protect wide areas from repeated strikes. Northern Europe recognizes that replicating such gaps would be unacceptable in a future crisis, especially given the density of critical infrastructure in Finland, Norway, Sweden, and Denmark. There is also the question of why Scandinavian states have gravitated towards IRIS-T SLM instead of other systems. Patriot, while extremely capable, is optimized for long-range engagements and ballistic missile interception. It is expensive, manpower-intensive, and requires a logistics footprint that limits the number of batteries a small nation can acquire. Norway and Denmark already operate Patriot through alliance frameworks, but neither views it as a blanket coverage solution. The KM-ER system, produced jointly by the United Kingdom and Italy, is technologically advanced and integrates well with European networks. However, industrial bottlenecks, exacerbated by demand for SAMP-T, Aster missiles, and AUKUS-related projects, have slowed delivery schedules. Scandinavian states judge that their timelines cannot rely on congested production lines. NASAMS, though deeply established in the region, is more of a short to medium-range system with a lower engagement ceiling. It is highly effective against aircraft and some cruise missiles, but lacks the altitude and radar advantages that IRIS-T SLM brings. The industrial dimension is equally important. Germany's decision to expand air defense production capacity has created opportunities for closer Nordic-German cooperation. Countries like Sweden and Finland already supply advanced radar, electronics, and sensor technologies through companies such as Saab and ICI. IRIS-T SLM fits naturally into a potential ecosystem in which German missiles, Swedish radar, and Finnish space-based sensing can be combined into an integrated European air shield. This also aligns with a long-term Scandinavian objective: building an autonomous, European-centric defense industrial base that reduces overdependence on United States systems. The ongoing global competition, especially with rising Chinese technology in radar, avionics, and unmanned systems, adds further weight to the desire for a self-sustaining European supply chain. The strategic geography of the region reinforces this logic. With Finland and Sweden in the alliance, the Baltic can now be defended as a single, continuous airspace. IRIS-T SLM batteries deployed across southern Finland, the Stockholm archipelago, and northern Sweden create a corridor of overlapping coverage that connects seamlessly with Patriot deployments in Poland and Germany. For Norway, the system is especially attractive as a means of protecting energy infrastructure, offshore platforms, and Arctic logistics routes, assets that are increasingly exposed due to the melting ice and rising commercial traffic in the high north. As the Arctic gains importance in the global competition, particularly between the United States and China, Scandinavian states seek air defense solutions that can be rapidly scaled, dispersed, and integrated into a dynamic environment. From 2025 to 2030, the trajectory is clear. Medium-range air defense will become one of the fastest-growing military investments in Northern Europe. The number of IRIS-T SLM systems in the region is expected to triple within the decade. Scandinavian countries are moving toward a three-tier air defense structure: man-pads and short-range systems at the bottom, IRIS-T SLM and NASAMS in the middle, and Patriot or SAMP-T at the top. This will make the Baltic one of the most heavily defended airspaces in the world, creating strong deterrence against Russian escalation and providing political depth for NATO operations. The broader implications extend beyond Russia. By building a distributed, networked air defense grid, Scandinavia is preparing for future warfare in which unmanned systems, electronic warfare, and low observable threats converge. The IRIS-T SLM is not simply a procurement choice, it is part of an architectural shift toward resilient multi-node defense networks. It reflects the Nordic tradition of combining high-technology solutions with strategic realism and long-term planning. In this sense, the rise of IRIS-T SLM in Scandinavia symbolizes the emergence of a new European air shield, one shaped not by grand declarations, but by coherent, practical investments that fit the strategic demands of the Northern Front.